house we've been dreaming of. Come on over. Come on in. Come on over. Let's be friends. Come on over. There is enough. Oh, this is the house we've been dreaming of. Oh, this is the house we've been dreaming of. Welcome, come on down. We're getting ready to start our feature teller concert. My name is Kim Lehman, and I'm very honored and happy to be here today to introduce our tellers this morning. We want to thank all of our sponsors, and I'm going to ask you, if you see any of the organizers of this festival, please go and thank them. They spent countless volunteer hours putting this festival together for us. I still see people coming on in, come on in. That song, by the way, is by two women called Mamuse, and it's part of the community singing tradition, which is catching on nationwide. I'm a community song leader. Come on in, come on in. All right. Our first teller this morning is Lyn Ford, and you may know that Lyn has collected many accolades and awards from the National Storytelling Network, from the National Association of Black Storytellers. But what you may not know is Lyn collects gargoyles. Okay, so those in the back, I'm going to ask those in the back that are doing the silent auction. Yeah, if you can keep it down a little bit. People are still coming in. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Maybe, come on in. All right. So anyway, back to Lyn. Lyn collects gargoyles. So you may have heard that Lyn loves stories. And she loves stories that she's heard from her family members. But what you may not know is that food for the soul, she also has food for the spirit, and that is she absolutely loves black raspberry chocolate chip ice cream. So if you want to get on her good side, you know how to do it. You may know that Lyn uses the power of imagination and taps into that for us. And she loves laughter and joy. But you may not know that Lyn is working on a book called Laughter and Wellness. It's about laughter and wellness, called The Pocket Book of Laughter, Breath, and Joy. So please help me welcome to the stage Lyn Ford.
Thank you. You got it. Good morning. If you're sitting in the back because you're trying to hide, you don't have to hide from me. I can't see you anyway. I had cataract surgery. If you move up a little bit, I can love on you a little bit more because I'll be able to see your faces. I thought we'd start with the way I start my mornings. One thing I say as soon as my eyes open is good morning. So let's say that. Good morning. That was sad. You have to believe it's going to be a good morning to start your day the right way. After I say good morning, I repeat a quotation from Dr. Maya Angelou. And I guess Connie Reagan Blake liked it so much, she puts it at the bottom of her emails now. What do I say? This is a wonderful day. I've never seen this one before. Let's say that. This is a wonderful day. I've never seen this one before. That lets go of the past and gives you hope for the day. The next thing that I do is sing a song aloud, Nobody minds in my house. It has become more popular since when I was a child. I first heard it recorded by Rita Coolidge and her sisters. It's called the Cherokee Morning Song, and I'm going to sing it in Salagi. You can now find it on a lot of social media. Younger people, mostly women, have picked up the song and begun to sing it, and it just says Cherokee Morning Song afterward. Some actually give the words. The words in American Business English are, I am one with all meaning the Great Spirit, God, the universe, you, all the creatures of this earth, the sea, the sky. We are one with everything. And so I'm going to sing it in Salagi, but my friend here, Joel, can say, I am one with all. It is so. It is so. Wende yaho, wende yaho, wende ya, wende ya, ooh, hey yaho, ya, ya, ya. If you want to hum it with me, please feel free. Wende yaho, wende yaho, wende ya, wende ya, ooh, hey yaho, ya, ya, ya. Thank you. I also do something else, and my family completely understands. Other people who might come and visit might think that I've lost my mind, but I laugh. Now, the gentleman who began what has become a laughter experience around the world, Dr. Madan Kataria from Mumbai, India, says we laugh for no reason, but that's not true. I'm also a laughter wellness ambassador, and in our certification, we believe we laugh because it's good for us. We laugh because we can. So you're going to open your hands and your heart. Holding your hands out actually relaxes your body. You catch all the good stuff this way. You're going to inhale to a count of 3, and you are going to laugh because no matter what's going on, you can laugh. Okay? And don't go, that's a twitter, that's not a laugh. Ready? Breathe in, 1, 2, 3. Stop. That was wonderful. You did so well. I'm going to give you a way to applaud yourself. You're going to press your hands together. This is a way to clap that might not make any sound because you're touching pressure points to build up energy without as much stress. You're going to clap 3 times, each time saying very good, very good, very good, very good. Then you're going to raise your hands as far as you can without any pain. You're going to wiggle your fingers to get a little more energy going in your body. And you're going to cheer for yourself like old Brother Bear. Yay. That actually helps clean the sinuses. So if you need a tissue when you do that, you have it ready, okay? Let's try this. Very good, very good, very good. Yeah. Give yourself some applause. I just thought that might be a good way to open things up. I came into laughter exercises because of my mother. Not because she wanted to know them, but because she was a doozy. I will say no more about that. She lived with us for almost 14 years before her illnesses, her injuries, the amount of care that she needed meant that we would have to take her to a place of assisted living. She would fall and we couldn't get her up off the floor. She would have trouble with her eating and nothing that I made would satisfy her. I found a place that was 10 minutes away. I told her what we were doing. We weren't just going to take her somewhere. And she said, well, just find a place with plenty of sunshine. And that's what we did. She lived kind of down the road, as we would put it. I could visit her every day. But before that, when she had first come to stay with us, when I went to her doctor's appointment, she'd make me wait out in the lobby. I'd have to get all the information that was shared in the examination room from the nurse and the doctor. And this wasn't comfortable for me. I wanted to be there and hear what was said. So I asked my mom eventually, why don't you want me to come into the examination room? And my mother, the doozy, said, because if you're there, I can't lie. You see, the doctor was asking, are you staying on your nutrition plan? Yes. No. Anybody who orders candy with type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, stomach problems, and a bit too much weight on her beautiful body, and orders them in a way that I don't know she has ordered them, because she's called in her order, she's looked at my calendar, and she has the delivery set for when I'm on the road. That's a doozy. That's a problem. Then Mama would hide the candy. And I didn't know that at first. There was candy in the back of a closet when she died, and she hadn't been there for a while. There was candy under the rocking chair. She would order whatever she wanted, and I would come home and see nothing. But we would go to the doctor, and she hadn't lost a pound. One time I came home early. And there on the front step were some boxes. And I carried them in. They had my name on them, because she was using my Vermont Country Store catalog and the Swiss Colony catalog, the ones that I use for ordering holiday gifts or something for someone who's sick and a little too far away. And I kept thinking, why am I getting these boxes? Did I order something that I don't even remember it? What is wrong with me? And my mother came from the bedroom. Now, we had found a walker for my mother that had 2 trays, so she could carry what she wanted. She definitely wanted to be independent. And she'd heard the door open. She'd heard me say hello, and she quickly came from her bedroom on that walker. And she stopped when she saw me with the boxes in the living room. And she said, oh, hello. I said, hi, Mom, and I opened up a box. Chocolate-covered cherries. I don't eat those. Chocolate-covered peanuts. I don't eat those. Bags of black licorice jelly beans. I definitely don't eat that. And I looked at what was in the bag, and my mother walked a little closer, and she looked at, in the box, she looked at what was in the box. She reached down underneath and she pulled out a bag of gummy bears. And she said, "These are for you." And we had a little talk, and it didn't do any good. My husband brought home a Louisiana crunch cake one time. That's like a pound cake with a crunchy icing. And I checked my mother's numbers. At dinner time, I gave her a thin slice. Mama said, "Oh, this is the best thing I've ever tasted." And I said, "Well, good. I've never had this before." "Well, good. Maybe tomorrow I can give you another slice." But I had to go to a library the next day. I put that Louisiana crunch cake in its box on top of the refrigerator because my mother also had arthritis and supposedly couldn't climb and reach. A half hour to the library, a 45-minute program, a half hour back from the library. I looked at my mother's numbers on the refrigerator. I thought maybe I can give her a slice for lunch. I took down the box. A third of the cake was gone. I walked into her room. There was no evidence of plates, forks, crumbs. She was sitting in her chair. I said, "Mom," I didn't even say hello, "did you eat a third of the Louisiana crunch cake?" She said, and that's all she said. My mother had gotten the kitchen footstool, set it in front of the refrigerator when she was alone. She had reached up and got that cake that apparently was demanding her attention. She put it down on the counter, cut what she wanted, put it on a plate, carried that into her room, came back, put the cake back up on the top of the refrigerator, folded up the footstool, put it beside the refrigerator, went back in the room, and devoured the cake. And I said, "Mom, why would you do that?" She said, I said, "Mom, you need Jesus." She said, "I've got Jesus. I just need more of that Louisiana crunch cake." Mama was a doozy. And as I waited for her in the lobby one time, I saw on a table little cards that said laughter yoga. And I thought, I need to laugh. I need to laugh. So I looked at the time and the date, and I went, and I felt so relaxed. And I have to monitor my blood pressure, and my blood pressure started going down. It went down so far that my doctor changed my prescription and put me on the lowest dose of blood pressure medication that there was. I'm still on that. I lost several pounds. I found them. That's an ongoing thing, but I felt more relaxed, and I could move my body more easily, my body that also has arthritis. And so I got certification as a laughter yoga leader, then as a laughter yoga teacher. Then I studied with Dr. Kataria himself online. And then I studied under Sebastian Gendry to become a certified laughter wellness ambassador. I'm also a level 1 breathologist. That sounds too medical, so I just say a breath mechanic. I can help you adjust your body and relax your body and breathe more effectively. And that's how I got into the laughter exercises. But the laughter, oh honey, that comes naturally from me. And I'm happy that I could share some of it with you. I also said last night that I love to share granny stories, old granny stories, old women's stories, because I am one. Well, this is a story that I heard in my family, and I have traced it down to North Carolina. I don't know beyond that. And it's about an old granny nanny goat who had watched over all the little kids, not the children, people children, but the little kids, you understand? And she tried to teach them everything that she could about how to be safe, about what to eat, about where they could safely go. Now, one day she was guiding the kids through the woods, taking them to a meadow that was beyond the woods, where the grass would be soft and green and the clover would be sweet and they could play with more space. And she was walking along slowly. Come on, babies. And she looked down at something and she'd tell them if it was all right to eat. Don't eat that. One little kid would ask, why? She'd say, because that's poison ivy. You don't eat that. And that little kid would say, oh, yes, ma'am. They'd walk along a little farther, and that same little kid would say, Granny Nanny Goat, what's that? Old Granny Nanny Goat would say, oh, that's dandelion. You can eat that. They'd walk along a little farther. That same little kid would say, oh, Granny Nanny Goat, what's that? And old Granny Nanny Goat would say, that's a rock. Don't eat that. And finally they made it to that meadow where all the kids began to nibble at that sweet grass and nibble at all the wildflowers and run around and sometimes bump heads just because they could. When a sound came from the sky, you're going to help me with that sound. Wave your hands to make the wind blow. And then gently make the clouds grow. And as the clouds grew, a soft sound came from the sky. You hear the rain? And the rain fell harder and harder and harder and harder. Oh, it was a terrible rainstorm, and those little kids were getting soaking wet, and they called out, oh, Granny Nanny Goat, what is this? She said, that's rain, fool. Why you standing in it? You know the way home. Follow the path through the woods and get home. Go in the barn. But the little kids were worried about old Granny Nanny Goat, and she said, I'll be fine. But I can't run with you. I got Arthur in my itis. I got rumors in my tisms. I'll be along pretty soon. Well, those kids took off running, and old Granny Nanny Goat followed them. But the rain fell so hard that after a while she couldn't see, not even under the canopy of the trees. She was soaking wet, and then she noticed what looked like a hole in the air. It was a cave. And so she made her way in there and she shook herself off like a dog and she shook her ears and she tried to get herself nice and dry when from the back of the cave she heard, old Granny Nanny Goat said, and old Granny Nanny Goat turned around and there was a young wildcat. Old Granny Nanny Goat said, good morning, cat. And that cat said, I am. Good morning, breakfast. And old Granny Nanny Goat knew she couldn't run with Arthur in her itis and rumors in her tisms, and she could hardly see. She knew that cat would pounce on her. So she had to use her head. She said, I'm so glad you're here. I was going to be looking for you. You see, today is a special day. It's my birthday. And ever since I was a little kid, on my birthday, I've treated myself. On my birthday, I eat a wildcat. That young wildcat said, man, what? Oh, yes, y'all are delicious. And I would have had to hunt for you, but since you're here, all I have to do is eat you. And she put on her meanest, ugliest old granny nanny goat face. Let me see your meanest, ugliest old granny nanny goat. Ooh, that's too ugly. Stop. Well, that little wildcat was so scared he dropped down on his knees. He begged and he pleaded, "Oh, please, you old goat, don't eat me." She said, "Well, I could let you go. Look for another one. But promise me something. If I let you live, you'll go to your kinfolk and tell them not to eat the goats from the farm." That wildcat said, I promise, and he ran out into the rain. He couldn't see where he was going either. He ran into trees, he tripped over rocks, but finally he got to his family and told them about a crazy old goat that ate wildcats for her birthday, and that they should never bother the goats from the farm. And when the rain stopped, old Granny Nanny Goat made her way home, where all the goats were so worried that they gathered around her in one big hug. And she told them, "Babies, I've tried to teach you everything I could, but there's one thing I still have to teach you. One thing I didn't think about. I need to teach you how to make up a good story." Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Lyn, for sharing that story. Stories about laughter, and wonderful story about that billy goat. Stories save your lives. Remember that. You all may know that Alton Chung, he is immersed and surrounded by island culture. Hawaii, Japan. But what you may not know is that he is a trained oceanographer, and that he is a scuba diver, and he has gone scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef off Australia, all around the Hawaiian Islands, and off the coast of Puerto Rico. What you may not know is that Alton has a guilty pleasure. He loves to watch cooking videos and then think of all the things that he could do, but then is satisfied with just making a bologna sandwich. What you may know is that Alton is a recipient of the Oracle Award at the National Storytelling Network. What you may not know is years ago, Alton could not pronounce the letter S. He had a lisp. And if he ever had to get in front of people and speak, he was so nervous that he'd break out in hives. And look where he is now. So fortunately for us and the world, Alton can now come up and share stories with all of us without breaking into hives. Please welcome Alton Chung to the stage.
Okay. Dear family, good health and long life to you all. I hope that you can find a kind priest or a scholar to read this letter to you. I have a scholar here in America. I speak, he write. He's very good. I not know if other letters reach village. I not know if elders or parents are still alive. So I will start at the beginning. I left village 1850 with my best friend Tong Sung. We're 17 years old. At the time, around Toisan district, around near Canton, Terrible rain, too much rain. Crops flooded, harvest bad, everyone's starving. And then these Chinese people come from strange land, Gamsan, Gold Mountain, America. Oh, and fancy clothes, lots of money. And me and Tong Sung, we think, maybe we take chance. We go Gamsan, we get money, we send money back to parents. And after a few years, maybe we come back village. But coming Gamsan, very expensive. Entire family, pool money, have just enough money to buy one ticket, send me, Gamsan. So one day, Tong Sung, me, other people from village, we leave it to start walking. 3 days we walk to big port city Canton. Get on big ship, go Gamsan, go America. Ocean, no good. Waves big like mountain. Wind scream like ghost. And boat like leaf and stream go this way, that way. We get sick. We throw up. We don't get used to the stink. And then we arrive, Gamsan. We come to San Francisco, America. But we look for gold, but no can just pick up. Oh, easy gold found already. No. We spend weeks, months bent over in stream. Get pan and sifting through cold water with mud and sand, looking for little bits of heavy gold settled to the bottom of pan. Hard work. And then we hear that some bad people come with guns and they steal your gold. Sometimes kill Chinese. Too much work, too much danger. We give up. We go back San Francisco. And then one day, Chinese man, he said he's looking for many Chinese men to go work on something called railroad. He said his name Ing Lo, but everyone call him No Tom because his left hand, no Tom. He said, come. I'm looking for people to go work on the, railroad. We go, what is railroad? So, woo. Woo? What is woo? That's the steam whistle for the train. He say he's looking for maybe 40 Chinese men. And he say he guarantee we get rice, we get Chinese food, and we get paid. He also say that anything bad happen, that you die, you make sure your bones get sent back to China. This last part, very important, because we know we're far from home. And we know if we die, our spirits cannot rest until our bones lie with bones of ancestors in village graveyard. So me, Tong Sung, we sign up. No Tom tell us that the Lofan, the Westerners call us Chinese coolies. They also say they call us celestials or moon eyes or John Chinaman. He say, no get fire neck, no get angry. He said, pretend pig, eat tiger. Pretend be simple, but be clever. Building railroad, hard work. First you gotta make the ground all level, yeah? Then you get a bunch of small rocks, you pile them up. You get these pieces of wood, all same size. They call them railroad ties, and you wedge them inside the small rocks, make them flat. Then 5, 6 guys pick up this big steel rail, put them down on top of the railroad ties, tonk. And then you get these big iron spikes. You pound them into the railroad ties to hold down the steel rail so the steel rail don't move. Patonk, 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 patonk. You do the same thing on the other side. And this rails is what the railroad, the choo-choo, roll on top. They do them over and over and over again in the hot sun, in the blowing wind, in the freezing cold. Trees in the way, cut them down. Stream in the way, build a bridge. In wintertime, we come to Sierra Nevada mountains. Snow pile higher than I can reach. Now, we have to go dig tunnel from where we sleep to where we have to work. Crawl through the snow tunnel, but dark inside the tunnel, so you gotta bring lantern. You crawl over there. You work all day and you crawl back. All the time you're worried about big snow fall on top of you, tunnel collapse on top of you, rocks come down the mountain, kill you. Sometimes can dig out, but sometimes no can. And cold. So freezing cold. Some people just die frozen. And sometimes got a big tunnel through mountain. Gotta use explosives. Then go. You drill a hole inside rock, put explosives in, light fuse, run away. So many things can go wrong. Lo Fan say, China man's chance when things don't look so good. That means no chance. Me no like. Something bad happened to you? Accident? You unlucky? They dig hole for you, put you inside, write your name on a piece of paper, put it inside ceramic jar, bury with you, cover you up, mark your grave. After a while, when you're nothing but bones, they dig you back up, send bones back China. But I don't think all bones go back China. Hard for remember where all the graves stay, yeah? Sometimes we don't have time for funeral. We do the best we can for the dead. That's when I make special promise to my good friend Tong Sung. I promise each other, whoever die, the other guy, make sure the other person's bones get shipped back China. I make this very solemn promise to my good friend Tong Sung. And we come to Promontory, Utah. We meet the other company building train from the other side of the company. Oh, big party. Oh, best Chinese worker selected to go and put down last rail. We start the spikes, patong, patong. We leave. Very important Lyn Ford, come, finish pound spike. No can. Chinese gotta come finish pound spike. And then some Chinese get invited to very special luncheon with very important Lyn Ford. Oh, they get a special luncheon. They shake our hands. They congratulate us. Oh, big party. Everybody happy up. But railroad part finish. Got to find a new job. Some like Northam, he find other job with railroad. Other people, they go back China. Some people go back San Francisco. Me Tong Sung, we try new place. We go Seattle, Washington. Tong Sung say, hey, he like stick with me because I lucky. He say, I need him because to keep me out of trouble. Well, we go back San Francisco, we get on boat. We go to a new place, Seattle, Washington. We in town, we get some jobs. And after a while, Tong Sung, hey, Ming Wang, we go back Pan Gold. We get plenty money short time. I miss family. I want to go back China. I tired working dangerous job. Me, I want safe job. Don't make as much money, but I send money back family safe, me safe. But I don't like abandon good friend Tong Sung. Difficult. Like reaching for moon inside pond, difficult. Like putting angry rat inside pants, difficult. I pray Kuan Yin, Goddess of Mercy, oh please, 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 tell me what for do. Then I go wish my good friend Tong Sung good luck, long life. And I say goodbye to my friend. Me, I stay Seattle. I get job as a houseboy, domestic servant to nice Lyn Ford family, the Kimballs. Oh, they treat me good. They help me. They teach me how to cook their food, how to serve their food. They teach me a little bit English. Eventually, I get new job in a store in Chinatown. The reason why the merchant hire me, because I know a little bit English. We get fruit and vegetables from nearby farms and we sell them in Chinatown. I save the best fruit and vegetables for good restaurant customer. Oh, they say, oh, you got the best vegetables. Because he get the best vegetables, he chop up the nice pot, he serve it to his important Chinese customers, entertaining guests. Huh? I don't know. You see, even in Chinatown, even get the Lyn Ford come. They like eat exotic food, but they go, oh, too spicy. I don't know if this story is true, but this is what my restaurant friend tell me. He say, one day in closing time, Lyn Ford come. They demand service. They're hungry. They want to eat something. But kitchen almost out of food. All he get is the leftover vegetables and meat, stuff he wouldn't serve his best customers. Never mind. Chop up the vegetables, throw them inside. Chop up the meat, throw them inside. Stir them up. Make gravy. Make them bland. No spice, nothing. Just stir them up, put them on plate, serve the Lyn Ford. They eat. They like. They go, hey, this is good, pretty good. Okay. My friend go, okay. We go back inside, they talk to the cooks. The cooks start laughing up. They go, okay, yeah, okay. See, back Toisan district, we call this dish sap sui, leftovers. Lofan no can pronounce, so they call them chop suey. My restaurant friend said, you're a very good friend, you're a very good customer. Tell me, you come to my restaurant, you eat for free. I say, okay. But me, never ever order chop suey. Most Chinese cannot read English, but everyone can understand picture. Cartoons are coming up in newspaper. Get lo fan. Get beard. You get pulling on pigtail of Chinese man. Get whip in other hand. Lo fans are saying, Chinese must go! Chinese must go! Oh, I get scared. I pray Kuan Yin, oh, God, have mercy, please, please. Mercy for me, mercy for everybody. And then, get special law. 1882, Chinese Exclusion Act. Law say, no more Chinese laborers can come to America. They don't want us here anymore. Law say, you leave America, go visit China, cannot come back. Law say, Chinese no can become American citizen. In some places, get law, Chinese no can marry non-Chinese. This time, most Chinese in America are men, very few Chinese women. Oh, it means very few families. Hiya. Hard times. But with the help of loyal customers from store and get my good Lo Fan family, the Kimballs, they help keep me and keep the merchant and his family safe. Hard times. But not all bad. See, merchant, like me. Merchant get daughter. She like me too. We get married. Oh, I happy man. Oh, I lucky man. And then we have family, and then pretty soon everybody happy. 3 years later, we hear about Tacoma. Tacoma, big city south of Seattle. Big Chinatown there. 1885. In October, get these papers being passed around in Chinatown. Chinese must go by November 3rd. Some people get scared. They pack up, they leave. Other people go, rubbish. Throw them away. November 3rd come. All these Lo Fan come in Chinatown. They bang on the doors, they kick in the doors, they grab the Chinese, they pull them up the street. They go, wait. No time. We told you leave. You go, you don't stay. Oh, they pick up the people, they march them down from the place where the railroad go rent to them. 7 miles, they march them down to the railroad station the Chinese help build. They march them down, they pull everybody. They put down to the train, they put on the train, they put the women, the children, men, even a dead body, they put them on the train. They send them down Portland, they say, no, come back. That night, Chinatown catch fire. Burn. Make the nighttime clouds turn red. Chinese must go. I don't like, but I gotta tell true. May 1887, Snake River, Hell's Canyon, Oregon-Idaho border. Over 30 Chinese miners killed, shot dead. Some bad Lo Fan come, kill them, steal their gold, throw the bodies in the river. Sheriff come, arrest some of these bad Lo Fan, and get trial. But nobody go jail. Nobody care. Just Chinese, they say. One of the miners killed. My good friend, Tong Sung. He's still his parents. I no can send his bones back China. I don't know where his body stay. I pray Kuan Yin take care of him. I sorry, my good friend. I cannot keep promise. I pray you at peace. Life here, Gamsan, hard. Not everybody like us. But get some good Lofan, get some kind white people. I know deep down, we all, same. We all care about family, friends, children. Maybe one day, we all see that. Life here, Gamsan, hard. But family, here, home, here, future, here. I stay America. Kuan Yin reminds us that important things are friends, family. I no forget my good friend Tang Sung. I hope, I pray, one day children, children's children, have better life, easy life. No have to live like me, no pain, no suffer. I pray one day children or children's children stand tall, be proud, don't be ashamed, be Chinese. I hope, I pray, one day children's children become Americans. I'm sorry for writing such a long letter. I promise to write more soon next time. Till then, I wish you all good health, good fortune, and long life. With greatest respects, Ming Wang.
Thank you, Alton, for reminding us of our shared humanity. Hold on, my dear ones, here comes the dawn. Our next teller is from far, far away, across the ocean. Liz Weir, what you may know is that she understands and she knows fairies and gnomes and giants and creatures. But what you may not know is she also knows German Shepherd dogs. She has shown German Shepherds. She's been a judge for German Shepherds, even internationally at dog shows. Did you know that, anyone? You learn something new every day. Liz has traveled to many places, telling stories, talking to people, hearing their stories, prisons, hospitals, schools, libraries, festivals. She's been to 5 continents doing this. But what you may not know is that Liz has a superpower. She has ears like a bat. And she can hear numerous conversations at the same time. She is an excellent eavesdropper. So please welcome to the stage, Liz Weir.
It's really true. Be careful what you do with me. My daughter says, Mother, stop listening. I said, I can't help it. It's coming at me. Anyway, yesterday I did a workshop based on my work in nursing homes, residential homes, called Is She Still Talking? Which is what people say to me quite often. And one of the things I often talk about is your first day at school. Do many of you remember your first day at school? Usually if you do remember, it wasn't that great. But if you don't, it was fine. So I want to tell a story. I go to big schools. I was at school last week, 1,800 in a high school. But I can also go to a little school with 40 children, you know. So what I want you to do is picture an old schoolhouse, one teacher school. I went to one up at Yosemite for the Forest Park people. They're probably unemployed now. But anyway, when I went to do small schools, the teacher is very important because they're teaching everything from 4-year-olds to 11-year-olds. So this was an old style master. He had a cane and he used it. If you didn't get your spellings right, Mrs. D, Mrs. I, Mrs. F, F, I, Mrs. C, Mrs. U, Mrs. L, T, Y. You remember that one, yeah? But he was a fair man. It was coming up to holidays and he said, boys and girls, I'm going to set you a competition. Excitement. There's a prize. And out from under his desk, he brought a beautiful, sparkling ornament of an angel. These children, they wouldn't have anything fancy in their houses. Now he said, if you want to win this, everyone has to bring me back something small and something shiny from nature. Well, the minute the bell rang, they were all out. Some went down to the seashore. They got shells and pebbles and sea glass. Others went to the forest. They got nuts and berries. Some people went into their mummies' sewing boxes. Remember the button boxes? Brought shiny buttons. And the first day back at school, the teacher's desk was covered with small, shiny things. And he thought, why did I set a competition? How am I going to judge this? And he looked up and there was an empty seat. Who's missing down there? Please, sir, it's wee Hugh. Now, Hugh was the youngest in the whole school. He was the sort of child, if you ever see a child walking to school these days, the sort of child with a bag off the shoulder, coat off the shoulder, gawping, everything. Everything was exciting for Hugh. Every day there was a different story. The teacher said, we'll wait till he gets here. Door open. Up here, boy. Well, sir, what did you bring for the table? Huh? The table. Oh, no point. Oh, why are you late today, Hugh? And out from his pocket, he brought a tiny bird. He said, sir, I found it on the lane. Can you fix it? Can you make it better? One look, told the teacher. The wee bird was dead. It was frozen. Shook his head. He said, I'm sorry, Hugh. I can't help that wee bird. And the lip trembled. And a big tear rolled down Hugh's cheek and landed plunk on the table. And just then, the winter sun sparkled on that tear. He said, boys and girls, I have a winner for this competition. What Hugh has brought us today is something very special. He's brought us a single tear of pity. As long as you live, never be afraid, never be ashamed to shed a tear for any living creature. And that's how Hugh won the Silver Angel. I think he deserved it, don't you? That's from the telling of Duncan Williamson, wonderful Scottish traveller teller that I knew a long time ago. And I always like to acknowledge where I heard the stories from first. In Irish traditional music, it's very, very important to say this is a tune I got from such and such. So I always like to remember the people. Often they're gone. The next story is a wee bit different. If you know anything about the history of Ireland, you know that a lot of people came to the United States after the Great Hunger. People called it a famine. Actually, there was quite a lot of food in Ireland, but it was mostly exported to England. And the people in Ireland then starved. The potato famine came, the potatoes died in the fields, the smell of rotting potatoes. Anyway, we won't go into the history of it, but that's the background for this story. There was a family who lived up in Donegal. And there was a father, a mother, a wee boy called Sean, who was about 5, and a wee baby, Catchleen or Katie, baby in arms. They lived in one of those thatched cottages on the landlord's big estate. And I'm sure you know, we're seeing it nowadays, if you can't pay your rent, you're out, evicted. And early one morning, there was a hammering on the door, and the landlord's men came and threw the family out of the house. The mother protesting, "No, I've left something in there, I have to go back. No, no rent, no house." And they set fire to the thatch, and the family, just standing there in the clothes they were wearing, had to go to the workhouse. And if you know, you'll know it from Oliver and Annie, workhouses were terrible places. When they got there, the men were separated from the women were separated from their children, and within a couple of weeks, the poor wee baby, Kathleen, she died. She died of a fever. And at that time, they just buried all the fever victims in a big pit. The poor young woman was heartbroken, and any weight she had fell off her, and she died very shortly afterwards of a broken heart. But her husband made sure she had a Christian burial in the local graveyard, even though they couldn't afford a gravestone. And taking his little boy Sean by the hand, they walked all the way to Derry to get one of those coffin ships bound for America, for a new life, bound for Boston. All the way over in those ships, on that particular ship, he told his son stories about Ireland, about his mother, about his grandmother. He sang him songs, they played tin whistle. When he got to Boston, the man immediately got a job in construction, building the big high houses long before skyscrapers. And as Sean grew up there in this big, welcoming Irish community, again, he immersed himself in Irish culture, and he worked in the construction industry as well. Month followed month followed month, year followed year, and the family grew rich. And about 5 years ago, the new people decided to come back to Ireland, to come and see where their relatives had originated. We get a lot of Americans doing that. The easiest part was to find the graveyard, where they found the grave where the great-great-granny had been buried, and they had plenty of money. They made a lovely gravestone, a memorial tour. The next thing was to go and look for the cottage. They found it. All there was, 4 walls, roof had long since gone, but there was a for sale sign. They said, "We're going to buy it." People said, "You can't buy that cottage." No, it's our cottage. We're going to buy it. No, it's haunted. Nobody can stay in that house. Every night, people hear a baby crying in that house. They said, "It's our house. We're buying it." So they did it all up. Picture, quiet man, whitewashed cottage, thatched roof, lovely painted half door. And before they moved in, it was going to be their holiday home. Their daughter, Kate, was playing around the house. And if you've ever been to Ireland and been to those old cottages, the chimneys are so big you can actually step inside and look up and see the sky. And she was playing about, and she heard a story, which maybe you've heard, that halfway up the chimney there was usually a little hole where you'd keep salt to keep it dry. Those old houses were very damp. And she put her hand in, there's something there. She brought it out. And it's a piece of raggedy cloth wrapped around an old battered tin locket. And she opened it up, and there was a drawing of a baby, and it said, "Katie, 1847. She knew the story. She knew the great-great-granny had left something in that house, so she ran, she showed it to her father. And they buried it there in the graveyard with the great-great-granny's remains. And after that, nobody ever again heard the crying baby. If I was not a nice person, I would tell you that's a traditional Irish story. But because I'm an honest person, I have to tell you that was created by a class I worked with, a class of 10-year-olds who were studying the Irish family. Isn't it good? I mean, I think it's good. It's not my story, it's their story. And, it was great. We put them, I'm not going to do a whole workshop on how we did it, but anyway, we did it. But the best bit about it, I think, and I've told this all over the world, is the title. I could ask any of you people to come up with a title for that. People say, "The Crying Baby," and I'm going, no, that gives the story away. Everybody thinks their own title. Their title was just the best. Want to hear it? The Chain of Memories. Do you imagine that? Gorgeous. So let's hear it for Dromore National School, Donegal. One quick story to finish with. Who knows, me doing a quick story. I'm going to tell you a totally different story. It's a very ancient story. Last Sunday was International Women's Day, and I told this story. There was once a farmer whose name was Cronahu. His wife had died, leaving him with several children. And one day he was out working around the farmyard when, coming across the fields, he saw a very striking woman. She had long red hair. She was moving fast. It was as if her feet weren't even touching the ground. And to his astonishment, she came past him, went into the house, and appeared to be starting to cook and do work in the house. He came in that evening. The children were sitting scrubbed at the table with a meal in front of them. She greeted him, sat down a meal to him. And he said, "Who are you?" She said, "My name is Macha, though you must tell no one my name." He'd heard of this Macha. Some said she was a goddess. Some said she was an equine goddess. Well, he couldn't believe his luck, because she stayed. And they became his husband and wife. Months passed, and she became great with child. And at that time, King Conor MacNessa, the High King, had commanded all the landowners to come to his court for feasting and horse racing. She said, "You can't go." He said, "What do you mean? You can't go? The baby's going to be born soon. You can't go." He said, "I must. I have to go." "Well," she said, "if you do go, don't mention me to anybody, and don't drink too much." Normal sort of advice. Off he went. Well, the feasting was great. There was plenty of mead flowing. The horse races started. And the more he drank, the more talkative he became. And he said, "My wife can run faster than the king's horses." You shouldn't say that. No. It got to the king. He said, "Tell your wife to come tomorrow and race." No, he said, "No, you see, she's expecting a child. When the baby's born, she'll be able to come. Tell your wife to come tomorrow or you will die." Can you imagine the response he got when he went home? She said, "What did I tell you?" Well, she was bundled back to the court. She stood in front of all the Fianna, all the knights, all the men of Ulster, and she said, Look at me. A woman gave birth to each one of you. Wait until my time comes, wait until my baby was born, and I will race, but I can't do it today. The king said, "You will race today or your husband will die." So the horse race started. The woman started to run. The horses went faster and faster, and she gained speed. And the next thing, she passed these horses and collapsed across the finishing line in the agony of childbirth, giving birth not to one, but to 2 babies. And in her dying breath, she cursed the men of Ulster. She said that for generations to come, 15 generations, whenever there was a time of great need, the pains would come on, like the pains of a woman in childbirth. With that, she died. The place she died is called to this day Awanwacha, which means the twins of Macha. We know it as Lyn Ford. And the place where that happened is the city of Armagh, Ardwacha, the height of Macha. So if you come and visit me in Ireland, which I hope you'll do, I know Alton was there, we'll bring you to that place, to Lyn Ford. And that's the story behind the name. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Liz, for all the work that you do with seniors and with children and for sharing those stories with us. Thank you so much. Some of you may know that Job and Izzy has traveled to over 36 countries sharing stories all around the world. But what you may not know is that Joel worked for a time on the streets of Paris as a mime. In his own words, he said he was really good enough to earn about enough for a loaf of bread, some cheese, and a cheap bottle of wine at the end of the day. We know that Joel is an exceptional storyteller, but what you may not know is that he started this a long time ago. Words from his first grade teacher. Joel was a great storyteller and puppeteer. I doubt, though, that he will ever hold down a real job. And then in second grade, Joel read a book in the library, Zlate the Goat by Isaac Bashevis Singer, with illustrations by Maurice Sendak. And you may ask, how did that book change his life? Well, therein lies the tell. Please welcome Joel Ben Izzy to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you for that lovely introduction, and thank you for these beautiful stories we've heard. I'll take this one here. Rich in stories, aren't we? How folks doing? Yeah, powerful stories. These stories take you different places all over, and you never quite know what you're going to do. And the funny thing about storytelling festivals is we get together, we each sort of have our own ideas for stories, and somehow they pick up the threads from one another. I heard Liz's story, and I was thinking about the immigration. Ireland's greatest export is Irish. So many traveling from the Great Hunger. And I think about the immigration story that Alton told of coming to America and the pain and difficulty. And the stories I'll tell echo that just a little bit. But then also, Lyn began us with laughter, and the importance of laughter. And this echoes that as well. And she also had a goat in her story, and Zlata the Goat was the book that got me inspired. So let me tell you how that story led to the work I do, and led to the importance of laughter in my work, by telling you about one of my favorite places in the world, the village known as Helm. Everyone, yeah, there we go, Helm. Everybody say Helm? Helm. You can say it with feeling. Ready? Helm. With your throat. Helm. Like you're clearing your throat. Helm. Now, some people spell it Helm, C-H-E-L-M. Some people spell it Helm, H-E-L-M. It's one of those places people can't agree how to spell, like Texas, which some spell with an X, some spell with a J, Tejas, and some pronounce it Tejas, right? So Helm is that place in the Jewish imagination. It's the little shtetl, the tiny village that's known for its foolishness. Now, a little Jewish village, they used to be all throughout Eastern Europe, and this is where my grandparents came from, a small shtetl in Lithuania. I mean, there were 4 grandparents from different places, came through Galveston, actually, onto Cleveland. But Helm is a special one, because while those villages have been burned and destroyed in pogroms, much like Alton was describing happened here to the Chinese, Helm is perfectly intact because it never really existed, except in the Jewish imagination. And in the Jewish imagination, it's on the road from Warsaw to Hotzenplotz. It's not quite as far as Chayupitz, and if you make a turn to the right, you end up in Yehupitz, and if you go too far, you get to Lower Slobovia, and don't go to Lower Slobovia. Why? I'll tell you. The people of Lower Slobovia spend the entire year growing out the hair in their armpits. One day a year, they braid it together, make a jump rope, and have jump roping contests. Don't get me started with Lower Slobovia. I don't even know why you mentioned Lower Slobovia. Enough with Lower Slobovia. I want to see the sign for Lower Slobovia. S-L-O-B-O-V-I is like this. Don't. See, you can't even sign it. That's the kind of place Lower Slobovia is. Don't start. No, let's go back to Helm. Helm. Helm is the place where people are so foolish that they believe they're wise, and they stroke their beards. Ready? Yeah, everybody stroke your beards. Yeah. Some of you are not stroking your beards, please. Yeah. I noticed some of you don't have beards. In Helm, everybody has beards. Men, women, children, dogs, cats, goat. They have an expression. Goat, here's their goat. They have an expression. A goat can have a beard, but that does not make him a rabbi. That's what they say. That's what they say. A goat can have a beard. And even in Helm, a nanny goat has a beard. But the people of Helm are fools. That's the beauty of Helm. And we tell these stories to laugh in difficult times. That's why the stories shine like they do. What kind of fools they are? You know, I have to explain. Fools, every place has its specialty, right? Every place has its specialty. You go up to Alaska, and the Inuit people have 30 different words for snow. Now, where I live in Berkeley, California, if it snows, you just say it's snowing. You don't say this snow, that snow, but they have their specialty. And in Ireland, they have 30 words for rain, yeah? Yeah, I think so. What do they have? And what do they have 30 words for here? 30 words for hot. 30 words for too hot in the summer. Hot, humid, sticky, muggy. And in Berkeley, where I live, we have 30 words for therapist. Different types of therapist. In Helm, they have all these words for fool. And because it's a Yiddish language, the beauty of the Yiddish language is that everything has a story behind it. So, for example, one word for fool would be a schlemiel. All right. Love this. Let's hear it for the signer. Wait, no. No, clap it like this. Yeah. A schlemiel, now the technical definition of a schlemiel, technically, is somebody who falls on his back and breaks his nose. That's the technical definition. But, and it's not a Jewish story without a but you have to explain in context. So a schlemiel would be the waiter in the restaurant. The schlemiel is serving a bowl of soup. He trips, spills the soup, and the soup lands on the... Say it? Who said it? Schlemazel, exactly. Schlemazel is the one without luck. So the schlemiel spills the soup lands on the schlemazel. You remember last night I talked about luck and wisdom, right? Mazel tov. Schlemazel is the one without luck. So the schlemiel spills the soup on the schlemazel. While we're on the topic, what kind of soup was this? Tell me. Chicken soup with a, let's see the sign for matzah ball. Ball, I learned ball yesterday, right? Chicken soup with a matzah ball. And for another 50 points, another 100 points, who had the best line ever about matzah balls? Molly Goldberg? What did Molly Goldberg say? No, that's the second best line. The best line ever was actually Marilyn Monroe. You all know matzo ball soup? Yeah? Marilyn Monroe was married to Arthur Miller. She went to his house for Passover where they had matzo ball soup. The next day, they had leftover matzo ball soup. The next day, leftover matzo ball soup. And after 3 days eating leftover matzo ball soup, she said, "Don't they eat any other parts of the matzah?" So that was Marilyn Monroe with a matzo ball soup. So the schlemiels, schlemazels, they live in Helm. And of course, being a Jewish story, stories grow in different ways. There's going to be tall tales today that I'm looking forward to. Tall tales grow by exaggeration. Corn was as high as an elephant's eye, knee-high by the 4th of July, as high as an elephant's eye, high, so high it reached the sky, began to pop. People came down, thought it was the popcorn came down. People thought it was snow. But Jewish stories don't grow by exaggeration. They grow by correction. That is, you sit telling a story and somebody goes, yeah, that's not right. That's not right. That's wrong. I'll tell you how it was. I was in Israel telling stories about King Solomon. Somebody says, that's very good, but that's wrong. I knew King Solomon. He was a friend of mine. Here's how it goes. So one day I was going through Schlemiel and Schlemazel and explaining this, and somebody said, that's very nice, but it's wrong. I said, they get messed up. Schlemiel spills a soup on the Schlemazel. He says, no. A Schlemiel is someone who does everything wrong. Everything they try fails. Everything they touch is break. I said, then what's a Schlemazel? He said, a Schlemazel is a Schlemiel who's down on his luck. So they lived in Helm, and the people of Helm are fools. What kind of fools are they? They're fools that think they're wise. And they sit pondering difficult questions. Stroke your beard, ready? Yeah. They say, why is it the days are longer in summer and shorter in winter? A question like this, they ponder, they argue, they debate. Finally, they turn to their great wise elder, Chaim Yankel the Wise, who's so wise. You know how wise he is? You're good. I'm going to just back up and do it again because I like it. You know how wise he is? He's so wise that each night he goes to bed with 2 glasses by the side of his bed. One is a glass of water, and the other is empty. And people of Helm wonder, they say, why does he do that? Why? Why? What's why? How do you say why? Why? Why does he do that? And they ask him, he says, I'll tell you, 2 glasses by the side of my bed, one with water, one empty. If I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm thirsty, I drink the glass of water. But if I wake up and I'm not thirsty, I drink the glass without water. Aha, that's how wise he is. So they said, Chaim Yankel, you're so wise. Why is it the days are longer in summer, shorter in winter? And he says, why? He says, I'll tell you. Have you ever noticed in summer it's hot? Like they say in Texas, it's hot, and they have so many ways to complain about how hot it is in Texas. Yes, it's hot in the summer. Why? Have you never noticed it's cold in winter? Yes, we've noticed that for sure. It's very cold. You freeze your tuchus off. Tuchus? Touchs. Look, that's what happens. In summer, it's hot, the days expand. In winter, it's cold, they contract. So the people of Helm are famous for their foolishness. Just for example, they decide to build their shul, their temple, in the middle of town. There's a mountain, and they go climb up the mountain to get these logs down to come and build their temple. So they go up to the mountain, chop them down, right? Join me? Chop, 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 timber. They take these logs, and as they carry them down from the mountain, they say, oi, 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 oi. Say it with me, ready? Oi, oi, oi. If you don't speak Yiddish, I'll tell you, Yiddish, the word oi literally means oi. Ready? So say it with me, and by the way, say it with feeling, ready? Oi, 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 gewalt. Say that with me. Oi, gewalt. You got to say the gewalt loudly. That's the beneficial aspect of the story. Then we would call this gewalt therapy, is what you're doing. Try it again, ready? Oi, 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 gewalt. It's a lot of work carrying down. 2 months to carry all the logs they need. Then finally they're carrying the last one. Oi, 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 with feeling, ready? Oi, oi, oi. Gewaltus interruptus, because before they get to the gewalt, I don't even know how to sign it. So before they get to the gewalt, somebody visiting said, Helmites, what are you doing? He said, what are we doing? Clearly, we're carrying logs down from the mountain so we can build our temple in the middle of town. He said, you fools of Helm, you don't have to carry the logs down. They're round. You could roll them down. It's so much simpler. He's a genius. It's right. It's so much simpler to roll them down. So they carry them back up and roll them down. That's the way the Helmites work. And the Helmites think, and that's their joy in life. Now, people don't often leave Helm because it's such a little lovely place and all roads lead back to Helm. But 2 Helmites decide to go off and travel in their horses. And they get on the horse, and as they're going, Yekel and Yankel. And as Yekel and Yankel are going, they stop for a little bar in Yechupitz. And they stop and drink some schnapps and get a little shikker from drinking a little schnapps. Schnapps is a very sweet sort of liquor. They drink it, and they come out, and Yekel turns to Yankel and says, "Oi, Yankel, I maybe drank too much because I can't remember whose horse is which." And Yankel, who was the thinker in the group, said, "You know what? I saw this coming, and I made a little mark on the back side of my horse on the right side so we could tell them apart. Good idea. I'll do the same." He marks the back side. Now after Yehupitz, they travel to Chayupitz, and they stop and have a little bit more stops, and they come out, they're a little bit more shicker. And what I love about the story is the drunker they get, the thicker the accent gets. That's the fun part, if you tell. And Yekel turns to Yankel, says, "Oi, what now? They both have a mark on the right side of the back." He said, "I thought of that too. I made a mark on the left side of the back too, so we could tell them apart. Good idea. I'll do the same." They go from Yehupitz to Chayupitz to East Chaim Yankelville, and they go, and there's a mark on the back side, on the right side, on the left side, and finally they go to Lower Slobovia. Your line is, "Oi." And the bar in Lower Slobovia, they come out, they say, "Oi, oi, oi, Gewalt. What, how do we tell now?" They both have a mark on the back right side and the back left side, and the front right side, the front left side, a few hairs off the tail, and Yekel turns to Yankel, Yankel turns to Yekel, and Yankel is stumped, and finally he says, "Look, I don't know. But if it's all the same to you, it's all the same to me. You take the black one, I'll take the white one." So one thing about Helm you must know, and I was reminded of this at breakfast at the hotel, a very famous food that you know here was invented in Helm, and that food is the bagel. And my mother, may her memory be for a blessing, used to say a bagel is a donut that went to college. And what happened in Helm in particular was a Helmite was sitting thinking one day, join me, what is it? I have an idea for a new food. New? New is a Yiddish word that literally means new. He said, say it with me, new, like this. It's a question, new, so, new, with the gesture, ready? New, that's good. I'd like to do one more time, ready? New, that's so fun to see. I call this new food the bagel. What's a bagel? A bagel is when you take a hole and you wrap some dough around it. That sounds good, but where from do you get the holes? That's what I'm thinking. Ready? Yeah, yeah. And you know, this is true, by the way. You cannot have bagels without bagel holes. In fact, I have one here I brought with me. This one's from New York, actually. Without a bagel hole, you don't have anything, right? So he's saying, and they look like this. I'm going to keep it here. He says, look, if you give me all the money in the Helm treasury, I will go off to the big city and I will buy bagel holes. He takes all the money from the Helm treasury. He goes off, goes to Yehupitz. I want to buy bagel holes. No such thing. Chayupitz, I want to buy bagel holes. No such thing. He goes until he gets to Lower Slobovia. Right. There, he gets to a bakery, knocks on the door, says, I want to buy bagel holes. He said, we can't. Wait a minute. Are you from Helm? I am. He said, we have a special. A special for bagel holes. How much did you bring? I brought all the money in the Helm treasury. Just a moment. Oh, hold on. He goes to the back. He comes back with a bag. The bag is very big, but it's very light because what's in that bag? I love this. I got to say. I tell this story many times. Every single time when I tell it about getting a bag of bagel holes, I'll say, what's in the bag? And somebody will say, nothing. And then I'll say, we have no place for cynicism at a store. But here, I listen, nobody said nothing. This is the first time ever. Give yourselves a round of applause for being a great audience. Can't believe it. Yes, it was filled with bagel holes. He was so excited. He ran back to Helm. He took each hole. He wrapped some dough around it. He boiled it. He baked it. People came by and smelled it. They said, this is wonderful. We have to eat this. This is great. And even though they'd never had them before, the kids got their parents to cut them. They smeared cream cheese on them. And they ate them. And the adults of Helm, who are practically minded, said, this is delicious. The bagels is good. The bagels, cream cheese is good. But, it's not a Jewish story without a but we don't want anyone should steal them. So what did they do? Somebody here. Thank you. Who said it? There we go, in the back there. Yes, they put locks on them. To this day, put locks on bagels. They don't steal them. They ate the bagels, the lox, the cream cheese. They said, these are delicious. We want more. He said, I'm sorry. I can't make any more. He said, we'll pay you. We love the bagels. He said, no, I can't make any more because you've eaten all the holes. So he has to go back to Lower Slobovia, buy more bagel holes. And to this day, you will recognize a Chelmite eating a bagel because they will eat it like Tom Hanks in the movie Big ate corn. They'll eat it around the hole and return the hole for a deposit. One last little story of Chelmites, because Chelm stories traveled. I love these stories, and these were the stories I read in the book Zlata the Goat. These were the stories, and I'd heard reference to them, but I read the story of the first Shlemiel and how he became Shlemiel. There's many other stories. And so I love them there on my CDs there, and remember the CDs will benefit Pacifique and his new baby, which is on the way evidently still. These stories keep a world alive. They keep a world alive that never existed except in the imagination. And I love these stories. I love the richness of these people who were poor but could laugh. And as Hank was saying last night, you can't keep us from, we tell stories because we have to keep that joy. Sometimes all we can do is laugh, and it's that laughter that keeps us healthy, like Lyn was saying. And it's that laughter that lets us breathe, and laughter that lets us survive. So one more little Chelm story, which is an old favorite of mine before I end up. It's a Chelmite who comes to America, comes to Arizona. And in Arizona, he wants to buy a horse. And he goes to the horse dealer. He says, I want to buy a horse. Horse dealer says, of course. What do you want to buy? He says, I want to buy a Jewish horse. A Jewish horse? We happen to have one. He comes to the horse. He says, what makes it a Jewish horse? He said, just look. He said, okay, good. What else? He said, this horse, it doesn't go on Shabbat. Perfect. I don't go on Shabbat either. Wonderful. And finally, he said, to make this horse go, you don't say, giddy up. Horse won't do anything with giddy up. You praise God's name. Baruch Hashem. That means blessed is the name. Everybody say that? Baruch Hashem. And if you meet Orthodox Jews, they'll often say, how are you? Baruch Hashem. And what are you doing today? Baruch Hashem. And it's always Baruch Hashem. And he said, that's wonderful. I just say Baruch Hashem, it makes it go, yes. To make it stop, you don't say Baruch Hashem. That makes them go faster. What you say is Shema Yisrael. Hear, O Israel, the most sacred prayer, the prayer of the oneness of God, the prayer you'd say at the end of your life if you had your last breath. Shema Yisrael. And he said, this is wonderful. Can I take him for a test drive? Of course. He gets on the horse. Pop, pop, giddy up. Nothing. Come on, horse, go. Hi. The horse dealer says, no, remember? Bless the name. Baruch Hashem. He gets on the horse, Baruch Hashem, and the horse starts to go. And he thinks how wonderful that there's a Jewish horse, and all I have to do is say Baruch Hashem. The horse goes faster. He says, wow, I should be careful when I say Baruch Hashem. It's going faster. It's going like a gallop. In fact, this is a Jewish horse. It's going like a canter now. Baruch Hashem. And every time he says Baruch Hashem, it goes faster and faster. But he says, I will not say Baruch Hashem again. It's going faster and faster and faster. And as it goes faster and faster, he says, slow down. This is like a racehorse zipping across the desert. And what does he see in front of him but the Grand Canyon? And our poor Shlemazel on the horse from Chelm is approaching the Grand Canyon closer and closer. And he can't say, slow down, horse, please. He says, he can't remember how to make the horse stop. And as it approaches the Grand Canyon, it's like going to do a Thelma and Louise ending. And then the poor Shlemazel realizes this is how his life will end. And he does what any religious Jew would do with his last breath. He says, Shema Yisrael. As he does, the horse stops. And he stops with his feet halfway off the canyon. And he looks down at the vastness of it, realizes how close he came to going over the edge and says, join me, Baruch Hashem, the Almighty, the Grand King. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Give Ronnie a hand. Oh. Yeah, sound guy. Ronnie has retired, but he likes coming here so much that he's still coming and doing this even though he's retired. Just a few quick announcements before we close up. Lunch is next. You can go out through these doors. The drinks are around the corner. Don't forget to spend some time in the silent auction, and do go to the story store. All these wonderful, fantastic tellers have books and CDs and all kinds of things over there, so please make your way there as well. We have a story swap coming up. At 3:30, Joel is going to do The Beggar King. It's going to be in the yellow rose room by the registration desk. We have a liars contest coming up, so we have all kinds of wonderful things. But let's thank our other storytellers, Joel and Libby, our signers. They've been coming year after year after year, and we appreciate them so much. Thank you so much. This is the house we've been dreaming of. Oh, this is the house we've been dreaming of. I'd like to call up all the tellers. Fantastic. Come up on stage. We need to get a photo. Let's give our storytellers a hand. Lynn and Joel and Alton and Liz, thank you so much. Come on up. Come on over.